Well, that is the clock tower right behind me, and today I am so glad that I can see it because last time I was here a few years ago it was covered in scaffolding. With a population of almost 10 million people, London, England is one of the largest and most cosmopolitan cities in Europe. So the best spot to get a view of the Parliament building is actually on the south bank. So cross over this bridge. Just know lots of people are going to be stopping here taking photos, and wait for your best one on the other side where you can get a full view. And another tip, come here super early in the morning to get this done, because in the afternoon the sun will be setting behind the building and you just won't be able to get a good picture of it. That is, of course, until after dark when they light it up, and it's really pretty at night too. Hey everyone, today I'm just sitting here on the south bank of the River Thames looking over across at the Westminster Parliament building, and it is just gorgeous because it is sunny, it's clear, few clouds in the sky, which I actually do like. This city can honestly be very intimidating because of its massive size. It's actually 32 boroughs, so each area has its own distinct culture and vibe. For your first trip to London, I highly recommend just coming over here to the River Thames and walking along the south and north banks because there is so much stuff to see just along the river. I would say the two most popular boroughs to visit here are probably the city of Westminster, which is where I am now, and the city of London, which is different than the Greater London area, but that is where you can find some really cool historical stuff. And the Tower Bridge, which is just so iconic. So right now I'm just heading to one of the most famous squares here in the city, and that is Trafalgar. So another fun thing to do here is skip Leicester Square, unless you want to go to the M&M factory, and come here to Chinatown. It's much, much more interesting. And now I'm in Piccadilly, which is London's version of New York's Times Square. And it's just a lot of shopping and gift shops and souvenirs, so I don't know if this area is really worth coming to or not. Depends on what you like to do when you travel. So right now I'm just on Regent Street, which is famous for its shopping, but I wouldn't say it's very unique. It's basically all the big name brand stores that you get everywhere else in any other city around the world. But I do like the architecture and the way the buildings kind of wrap around. Hidden in this alley right off of the main drag on Regent Street is actually a famous landmark and something I'm really interested in, although I think it just depends on what kind of music you like, because right behind me against that wall is where David Bowie actually posed for a really famous cover album. And there's even a little marker there to mark it, so you can find it. You've probably heard of Harrods and Suffrages, but I personally tend to like the look of this one called the Liberty because of its Tudor style. I've always been fascinated by bridges, and there are many in the city that cross over the River Thames. My favorite would be the Millennium Bridge, opened in the year 2000, also known locally as the Wobbly Bridge. If you're a fan of the theater, no trip to London would be complete without a walk by the Globe, which is synonymous with the works of William Shakespeare. If you got the time, definitely do the tour inside or check out a show. Make sure to make your way down the banks of the river to the Tower of London with the imposing charred building behind it, not far from the most recognizable bridge in the city. So this area over here has the Tower Bridge, and it's one of the most popular tourist attractions in all of England, so just be aware that there's going to be a lot of tourists out here trying to see it. But the walk along the promenade here is fantastic. Beautiful weather today, and I'm enjoying it. So if you're just here visiting the city, I highly discourage driving, and would totally recommend a subway called the Tube or the Underground, and the buses are also another great way to get around. Besides walking, of course, which I've been doing a lot of. I've been getting about 30,000 steps a day, so yeah, I'm pretty tired. Well, for all you fans of Doctor Who out there, I found the TARDIS. And it's right here outside Earl's Court Station. Getting kind of hungry, so now it's time to head over and find some food. And I think I may have just found a restaurant that I'm really going to enjoy. Well, when the restaurant's literally in a basement and you have to wait 30 minutes, you know it's got to be good. So I got the order placed, now I just got to wait for a table, which may take a little while. When you come here to the UK, something that you really can't escape is the royal family and the monarchy, because they are such a key part of the culture and history of this country. And despite all the horrible things that they've done with colonialism and all that, they still have a lot of influence, surprisingly enough. And they are still revered and regarded in high esteem by many people. So something to do when you're here in London, if you're interested in the monarchy and that kind of stuff, is to just check out a few of the palaces, such as Buckingham Palace, which I'm right by here in St. James Park. It's a gorgeous area, it's interesting, it's historical, and you can get a bit more perspective on the English and how they view the monarchy and the royal family. Just be aware that no matter what time of day you come here, what time of year, it's always going to be busy and crowded. So just realize that. If you like me and you don't like crowds, probably don't want to spend too much time. Well, it's been really cool to see Buckingham Palace this close, but I'm ready to get out of here. See some other stuff around the city. Again, it's a worthwhile thing to do while you're here, and it's free. You just walk over and take a look. And who knows, you might even see some of the royal family. So no trip to London would be complete without visiting some of the most famous spots from the Harry Potter book and film franchise. This is something that I grew up watching. It's a favorite of mine. I know a lot of people really enjoy that kind of fantasy and science fiction. But I think the perfect spot to start if you want to see the locations they filmed at in this city is right here at King's Cross, which is where they got on Hogwarts Express to go to the school. Today I'll be going around and checking out some of the other filming locations, but I think this is the perfect place to start. So I'm just inside the station right now, and there's a cute little area down there where you can get a photo in front of a brick wall that says platform 9 3/4. But if you really want to see where they filmed it, go onto the actual platform and take a look between 4 and 5, and that is the spot where they actually did the movie filming. So right now I am just in front of St. Pancras Station, and this is another filming location from the movies. It was in lieu of filming the outside of the actual King's Cross station, so the kids actually enter through that door over there. And it's actually a really impressive building. I love the architecture. So definitely worth it to walk across the street, just check it out. If you're a really huge Harry Potter fan, you'll actually come over here to the Palace Theater and see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. While you're in London, you cannot walk by Ben's Cookies and not stop, so I'm gonna have to go get a really quick snack. Well, if you love a good museum, they have plenty of them here in London, and right behind me is probably the most famous one. This is the British Museum, and it has pieces from all over the world. Now, a lot of those were probably collected illegally back during the colonial days, so there's that problem. But it's interesting to see a lot of this stuff, so I'm gonna go and check it out. So the atrium in here is actually really impressive. I love the glass ceiling. Most people know about the British Museum, even the National Gallery and the Tate Modern, but I would say the best museum in this entire city is the Victoria and Albert, or the V&A. So as soon as you step into this massive lobby, there is a chupuli hanging from the ceiling, and it is just incredible, especially if you like his glass blowing work. Named after Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, this massive museum in South Kensington houses millions of pieces of art, design, fashion, and innovation, with temporary exhibits on display regularly. So from the second floor up here, you can get a great view down into the lower gallery, and a lot of people, very busy museum. The scale of some of these monuments is massive inside this huge room. You just can't even imagine how big this stuff is. I mean, I'm just feeling so small in here. So all the works of art that are in these two massive rooms are called the cast collection because they're not actually originals. They are duplicates or copies of some of the most famous, greatest works of art and sculpture in the world. But that is a really cool thing to be able to see them all here. To see some of the most amazing street art, head over to the East End district of Shoreditch and just spend time walking around. You'll be amazed at the murals you can find around every corner. For more alternative art, check out the vaults near Waterloo and walk through the painted tunnels. So while you're here in London, there are lots of great places to get a good view of the city, and one of the best, I think, is here at the Sky Garden because it's completely free. You just have to get a ticket online ahead of time. So make sure you reserve that a couple weeks in advance, but it's going to be fantastic and you can see everything. So I've been out here for at least an hour waiting for the clock tower to light up over there, and hasn't yet, but it's been dark for a bit, so I hope it lights up soon. I'm getting kind of cold and tired. Thanks for joining me today. Life's a journey meant to be shared. Remember to always travel with an open heart and an open mind. Enjoy the ride and keep your eyes on the horizon for the next adventure. I'll see you out there.